Namaskar. Hello everyone. This is Professor Archna Verma from Institute of Management Studies, Bundelkhand University, Jhansi. And today I shall be discussing about the introduction of research methodology. The research is something which is practiced or conducted by everyone, not only in our professional lives but also in our daily lives. It is whenever we have to take a decision, that is whenever we are in a problem situation. Problem is usually when we are not able to take a decision, that is a problem situation. So, to solve that problem you need to conduct a research which involves gathering the information related to that problem, and then when you gather the problem, you try to critically analyze the information gathered by you, and with the help of that you try to find out a solution to your problem. So, I would say not only to your professional life, you also apply research methodology to your personal life, which is from complicated decisions to very normal daily routine decisions. Everyone applies that. It may be buying a toothpaste from the market, you need to conduct a research, because if I go to the market, I would like to buy the best toothpaste, and best I would mean the one which is maximally satisfying my need. That would be the best toothpaste for me. So, to select a best one, I have to conduct a research, that is I have to go to the market, I have to gather the information about the other toothpaste, the one which I want to buy will be only dependent on the information which I have gathered. So, this is something very routine kind of a decision. Coming to the complicated one, it may be buying a four-wheeler, buying a house, right, or finding a match, matrimonial match. These are all complicated and a very strategic decisions. So, this also involves conducting a research. Coming to the business and professional life, to find a job, you need to conduct a research, which organization, on what package, what kind of a job profile. So, this is something which is a very normal information you would require to start off your career. After joining a job, then how to perform your activities related to the job, the task assigned to you, how to take the decisions if you are a manager, how to take the managerial decisions. This is all something which all requires research, right? And research is, that is searching for knowledge, and knowledge is something which is unknown to you. When you get it known, that becomes your knowledge. So, you conduct a research for something which is unknown to you. I do not know, because see, very simple it is, that is if you are not able to take a decision, the reason is you are not aware of it, you do not have knowledge of it. So, in research rather we are collecting the information related to that problem where we are not able to take a decision. So, you try to collect the information through the research and take a decision with the help of the information which you have gathered. So, methodology is like when you follow a process, a procedure. So, how to conduct a research, how you have to proceed with your research activities, related activities, that is all about a research methodology. Now, see, research, as I was telling you, it is a search for knowledge, knowledge which is unknown to you. I would also say it is an art of scientific investigation. Now, why I say it is a art of scientific investigation? It is art also and it is science also. If I say art, art means that it is something which is not bound by laws, rules, regulation, lot of informality is there. So, that I would say it is art, because it involves lot of flexibility. Science is something which is bound by rules, regulations, some formats. So, formality is there in science. So, research is both, it is art also, it is science also. So, it is an art of scientific investigation. Investigation of course is conducted following a standard procedure, some systematic technique you conduct investigation. Investigation is collection of the facts, collection of the data, collection of the evidences, collection of the related information. That would be an investigation related to a problem which you are facing. And artistically, with the scientific tools, you conduct your investigation. So, that is why we say it is a combination of arts and science, because you follow rules, but at times you have to have flexibility. Like I give you an example of collecting the data or the information related to a problem. When you are collecting the data, you will design your system of collecting the data, that would be science of collecting the data systematically, step by step. a standardized procedure has to be followed to collect the data. But at times what happens is, let us say if you are collecting the data from the consumers of a specific brand, you do not know which consumer will be understanding which language, or what would be a comfortable technique to get the responses from them. So, you have to allow little flexibility in your pre-decided standard procedure of collecting the data, which I am saying it is scientific, but artistically you have to use it for all variety of customers. You do not have all the people or all the respondents who are giving you the information the same people. They are different people with a different mindset, with a different perception, different personalities. So, you have to collect the data from them differently, and that is why where you apply your arts, your skills. So, you allow that flexibility in collection of the data, and that collection of the data which is done scientifically, which is following a standard procedure. So, I say it is an art of scientific investigation. I would also say it is a voyage of discovery. Voyage of discovery, voyage is, that is, you do not know the destination and you are just traveling vaguely. So, vagabonds we have heard of. So, they travel vaguely without being sure of the destination what they want to reach. They just want to explore, they just want to know more about the country, more about the cities, more about the different places, whatever they are looking for. So, that is a voyage where you are not aware of what you are looking for, but you very vaguely keep on wandering, traveling and search for new and new things which are totally unknown to you. So, that is voyage of discovery. Of course, is also related term, which is discovery we call something as discovery where you are finding out something which is unknown, you do not know about that, or the others also, the world do not know about that. That when you come to know, you have discovered it. So, in research we would say it is a voyage of discovery. If I want to define research methodology, it would be like this. You can see on the screen, a careful investigation or inquiry, specially through search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. So, it is a careful investigation. Why I am saying a careful investigation? Because in research you cannot afford any mistake. Mistake, I mean to say, you cannot afford to be careless in your conduction of your research, in the conduct of your research, because one mistake, one careless act of the researcher, that is going to spoil or affect the later on steps or the activities related to the research. So, that is why I say careful investigation. One has to be very careful, very particular about the procedure of the research. So, a careful investigation I already told you, it is collection of the information or the collection of the data. So, careful investigation or inquiry, especially through search for new facts. See, it is not a research if I am discussing something which is already known, or if I am trying to find out something which is already known to others. So, if you are again discussing the same thing which you already know, it is not a research. When you tell something new, it is new to the others, it is new to you. When you tell that, then we say it is a research, right. So, through search for new facts in any branch of knowledge, we do not restrict research to only the academics or only to sciences. It can be any part of your life or any branch of knowledge, any aspect of life you can apply research methodology. So, we do not restrict research to only one specific area. It is not only related to science, it is not only related to arts, it is not only related to commerce, it is not only related to scientists or to medical students. It is it is uniformly you can use it in any part of your life. So, that is, it is in any branch of knowledge this research can be used. According to Redman and Morey, they have also given a definition which is systematized effort to gain new knowledge. When I was saying scientific investigation, there I meant this only, that is scientific effort to gain new knowledge, systematized effort. Now, systematized, something we call as systematic when we are following a procedure wherein we have to move step by step. That is, after the completion of one step, only you can move on to the next step. that we will say something systematic, where system is being followed. System is something where every component, where every element of it is equally important. You cannot miss it, like computer system we say. So, computer system, computer without a keyboard, it is not a system, it is just a monitor. So, keyboard is equally required. We then, I mean, so many things attached to that is required. That is why we call it as a computer system. We never call it as only computer, right. So, systematized effort, same we apply to our research methodology also. It is a systematized effort, means that is a systematic effort, where step by step you are moving to complete your research or to come to the completion of your research. And step by step, I mean to say over here is, that is after the completion of one step, can you move on to the next step. If your first step is improper, incorrect, inaccurate, then your next step is definitely affected by that. So, next step affected, that is going to carry forward till the last step or the last stage of your research, and which is going to end up with the improper result of your research, which is also you would not find an accurate or appropriate solution to your problem, for the problem which you were researching upon. So, that is what is I mean to say systematized effort to gain new knowledge. To explain it more and to explain it in terms of your methodology, as I was telling you earlier, methodology means a procedure or a process you are following. So, there are steps in the research methodology process. So, these steps can be, it is a systematic method consisting of enunciating the problem. The first one is stating the problem, identifying the problem, because that is something which initiates the research. If there is no problem, you search for what? I mean, like if you can take your decision, you do not look for any other additional information, because you are already equipped with the related information to take a decision, and you take your decision. Your problem is when you are not able to take a decision, you look for some information, you gather that, analyze that, and then you take a decision in the light of that gathered information. So, the very first thing, primary requirement for any research is problem enunciation. If your problem has not been described or stated correctly and accurately, your later on research steps are affected. In my next lecture, I shall be discussing about the problem also. Then next step after the problem enunciation or the statement of the problem is formulation of a hypothesis. I say this is a problem. Now, this is a problem, then I have to also give assumptions or presumption as to what can be the possible solutions to this problem, because vaguely I just can't keep on searching for the solution. That would be, I may land up nowhere, right. So, I have to firstly hypothesize or presume or assume that what can be the possible solutions to a problem which I have stated in my first step. So, hypothesis, formulation of the hypothesis is that step. After that, collection of the facts or the data in light of the hypothesis, analyzing the facts and reaching a certain conclusion. So, that is the total methodology I would say, which is in your research. When we conduct a research, this procedure should be followed. If first step is not attended properly, the next step is affected, as I was telling you earlier, and when we are discussing the process, I will explain, elaborate in detail. The objectives of research, why one would conduct a research, why I would do a research, or with what aim in my mind, with goal in my mind, I would conduct a research. So, these are the various objectives which a researcher might have in mind while he is conducting a research or while he wants to go for a research. First one is exploratory. Now, exploratory, if I say to gain familiarity with the phenomena or to gain the new insight into it. Exploring, it is coming from the word exploring, which means that is, it is not known to you and you try to find out. So, you are exploring, like you want to buy a good four-wheeler, you explore. How do you explore? That is, you may go to the different showrooms of the brands or of the companies, or you may talk to your friends, or on the websites you can search for that. So, you are exploring, because you are not having a knowledge about the four-wheelers of different brands, but you want to buy the best one, isn't it? So, in that case, you are exploring. So, exploratory objective is to gain familiarity with the phenomena or to gain the new insight into it. You want to understand it, you want to know more and more about something. An event might have happened, there may be an organization, there may be a product, there may be some issue, there may be a group, there may be even an individual which may be a top management person, a CEO of any company. You want to know about that, right? You want to know about his working, you want to know about his nature, his personality. So, you are researching there, you are exploring, because you are totally unknown to the nature of that manager or totally unknown to the organization, totally unknown to the market. You will go and then explore. So, exploratory research objective is when the researcher is totally unaware of what he wants to research over. So, exploratory, or if he is having an idea of that, he wants to understand it more in depth, better understanding he want to develop about that phenomena or that organization or whatever he is researching over. So, to gain familiarity with the phenomena or to gain the new insight. Now, descriptive objective is when you want to describe something, and description is, that is, you want to state the characteristic and the features of that. I want to describe an organization as a good organization or a bad organization, or an organization with good working culture or with a bad working culture. Is this organization fit to work in or not? So, this is, or I want to describe the personality of a person, it is a descriptive kind of research. I want to, like in sciences, botany, zoology, they state the characteristic and features of an animal or a plant. So, that is what is descriptive kind of a research. I want to describe a product, I want to state the characteristic and the feature of that. So, it would be a descriptive type of objective. So, researcher here want to only describe what it is, how it is functioning and things like that. So, to describe the characteristic of a particular individual, situation or a group. Now, that can be, you may want to describe an individual, as I was telling you, it can be a top management individual who, or a CEO of a company, you want to describe him, or it can be a situation or a group. Situation, there is a labor management problem, a strike is going on, you want to describe that strike. So, it may be that also, situation or a group, a team, a project team, you want to describe about that team, cricket team, you want to describe our Indian cricket team, it is a descriptive type of a objective of a research. Another one is diagnostic, which a doctor does, a diagnosis. So, diagnostic is to determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. So, frequency is, that is, how many time is it happening, and it happening number of time, is it dependent on something? Whenever something is, I mean some other factor is there, always this is happening. This is a kind of a relationship I want to establish. It is a diagnostic type of research. Like what doctor does is, you go to a doctor, you are suffering from a fever, and you go to a doctor, the very common question is, from when on are you suffering from this fever, and in a day how many time it is occurring, or how many times in the past it has occurred, the similar type of a fever has occurred with you. So, that is what are the questions of a doctor, and what is he doing? Actually, he is trying to establish that fever, whenever it is there, is it related to your some other activity? Is it related to that whenever you eat something which your body is not accepting, always at that time you are under fever? So, doctor diagnosis is that, where he tries to find out the frequency with which something is happening, and that happening of it, is it related, that frequency of happening, is it related to something else. So, that is what is the diagnostic type of objective. And last one is hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing, in the definition, when I was giving an introduction, I was telling you all that after your problem statement, you have to hypothesize the possible solution to that problem. So, in hypothesis testing type of objective, I am not sure of how I will conduct the research, or from where I will be getting the data, or what can be the solution. And when I am totally unknown or unaware, and I am not at all sure about that, I may get deviated from my research, because I am not sure of, I may be lost in my research. So, to avoid that and to save time and money of the researcher, hypothesis testing, hypothesis formulation is done. So, when you are trying to test your presumptions or your hypothesis, That is said to be a hypothesis testing objective, where you create or you try to give the possible solutions to the problem, which I would say you hypothesize or you presume that these solutions to this problem can be like this, 4 or 5 solutions you are giving. So, that is hypothesis you are creating, and then you conduct your research, try to prove your hypothesis. It may be accepted or rejected, that is a different issue. That is after the collection of the data, and when you come to the completion of your research, there you will be able to prove your hypothesis whether it is accepted or rejected. But initially you as a beginner of that topic research, you only hypothesize or you only presume that the possible solution to a problem can be x, y, z. So, hypothesis testing objective is to test hypothesis of causal relationship between the variables. Causal relationship over here means that is cause and effect relationship. This is the, I mean, if a value of something is increasing and the value of another thing is decreasing, I would establish a relationship between these two things as this value is increasing because of this decreasing. When this is increasing, that might decline. So, this is a cause and effect relationship between the two things I am establishing. So, in hypothesis, problem is there and I say this problem can be solved by a particular solution. This is my hypothesis. In conduct of my research, I will try to prove yes, my my problem can be solved with the help of this solution. So, hypothesis testing objective is that. Coming to the process of research, this is the step by step procedure which we adopt to complete our research. Firstly, defining the problem, which is in detail I shall be discussing in my next lecture, and it is unless and until doctor is able to diagnose the exact disease, cannot give a right kind of a treatment, right. So, same thing is over here only. If you are not able to define the problem correctly, your research cannot be conducted accordingly or appropriately. So, defining the research problem is a very important step. In once you are able to define a problem, you need to gather information through the available literature, which may be textbook, reference book, some website articles or anywhere wherever you can find the related material. You try to read more and more to understand that problem better. When you understand that problem better, can you conduct your research better. So, understanding the nature of the problem is very, very important, and this is the very important step. If a researcher is able to define the problem correctly, it is said almost half of the research is done. Why? Because if the doctor is able to diagnose the disease correctly, he can give the right treatment and the patient can be cured completely. If the doctor is not able to diagnose accurately, then the treatment cannot be given accordingly and the patient cannot be treated. So, defining the research problem, the first step, the most important one. After that, in light of this problem, related material is studied over. So, wherever you can gather from, it can be website, it can be libraries, it can be anywhere, from wherever you are able to collect the literature, go through the literature, understand the problem more better, in depth knowledge about the problem should be there. And in light of that, when you understand the problem, then you can hypothesize the solutions to that problem. So, formulate the hypothesis, and in formulation of the hypothesis, it is you are giving the possible solution to these problems. So, possible solutions to these problems. Now, it should not be one hypothesis. It is advised there should be multiple hypotheses, because in between if you realize that this hypothesis cannot be proved or this is not the solution to a problem, you can immediately jump on to the next one. Otherwise, what happens is you conduct your research completely, one hypothesis is only there, you complete your research and in the last step you come to know and realize no, this is not the solution to the problem. So, that is wasting your time and money. So, formulation of the hypothesis, it is optional in small level of researches, but when your researches involve a bigger budget of time and money, always should have a research hypothesis. So, hypothesis is the next step. After that, you design your research, how you will conduct that research, right? Your strategy, your plan. So, that would be your research design, and this will include a sample design also. Sample is, that is from whom will you collect the data. So, it is the total area, a small sample of it is drawn and then from them you are collecting the data, that is a sample design. So, research design includes your sample design also. If you have designed your research properly, you got a action plan, you got a a path on which you can move and complete your information. So, from that sample which you have designed over here, you will be collecting the data. Here you will be also specifying the various methods by which you will be collecting the data. Will it be an experiment, will it be an interview or a questionnaire or a survey, whatever. So, by that you will be collecting the data, and that collected data is processed, converted into an information, then critically analyzed. That information is analyzed, and the result of that analysis is you can draw certain interpretation and conclusion, right. That is, this is a solution to the problem, or this is the confirmed solution to the problem, or these are the possible solutions to the problem which you are almost confirmed. So, this is analysis, and then after that it is said research is a wastage when it is conducted for yourself. Research is something which should be given to others, to the world, offered to the world. When a researcher does a research and keep it to himself or herself, it is a wastage, and it is not good also, good practice. What should be done is, if I have got a solution to the problem, the others should be benefited by that problem. That should be the objective of a researcher, and that is for all the kind of researchers. This should be always an objective, that when you are able to give a solution to the problem, the general people, everyone should be benefited by that solution. So, how does the others come to know about that? It is by report writing. So, you have to prepare a report of all the research we have conducted, draw the interpretation, conclusions, give suggestions, recommendations to the research, and then write it all down in form of a report. And that report, it is available to all, anyone can read it, the related researchers can also read it. So, as I was telling you, review the literature. From where is it coming? From this report. The past researchers, they conducted a research and they have prepared a report. When I am doing a related topic, related problem, I am researching over, that is what is available to me is a past research reports. So, that is a review of the literature. That is all. Thank you.